with us of taking back foreign fighters? Does it see that?
Well, I haven't asked that to the president today. I have over the period of time. We have a tremendous amount of captured fighters, ISIS fighters, over in Syria, and they're all under lock and key. But many are from France, many are from Germany, many are from UK. They're mostly from Europe, and some of the countries are agreeing. I have not spoken to the president about that. Would you like some nice ISIS fighters?
Look, if you look at the situation,
You can take everyone you want.
let's be serious. The very large number of fighters you have on the ground are ISIS fighters coming from Syria, from Iraq, and the region. It is true that you have foreign fighters coming from Europe, but this is a tiny minority of the overall problem we have in the region. And I think number one priority, because it's not yet finished, is to get rid of ISIS and these terrorist groups. This is our number one priority. And it's not yet done. I'm sorry to say that. You still have fighters in this region, in Syria and now in Iraq, and more. And the whole destabilization of the region makes the situation more difficult to fix the situation against ISIS.
You know, we defeated ISIS, just so you understand that. We defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. ISIS, you're wiping them out left and right. There's almost nothing left in this area. As you know, we captured 100% of the ISIS caliphate. When I took it over, ISIS was all over the place. We defeated 100% of the caliphate, right?
We killed ISIS. We defeated. We did our job.
We beat ISIS. We knocked the hell out of them. We took 100% of the caliphate. American forces defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate during the last 2 years. The U.S. Armed Forces and our allies have totally obliterated ISIS.
And I think number one priority, because it's not yet finished, is to get rid of ISIS and these terrorist groups. This is our number one priority. And it's not yet done. I'm sorry to say that. You still have fighters in this region, in Syria and now in Iraq, and more.
But it really is virtually impenetrable. To protect you on top, how that stops, it's a anti-climb device. If you look at the steel on top, it's also structural, but actually it was there more importantly for anti-climb. Do you want to explain that?
So it's
the panels up top.
So it's one thing to figure out how to navigate the vertical post, but the transition at the top makes the climb orders of magnitude more difficult. It requires different equipment, different tools, different skills, and so it's the change as we get to the top that adds to the protection of that fence.
It's going to be virtually impossible to cross unless you're one hell of a mountain climber. Nobody's getting through. You can't get through unless you're a world-class pole vaulter in the Olympic team.
To the anti-climb provision that we have on top. Anti-climb. Who knows about anti-climb provision?
We have the panels on top, which are anti-climb panels. I don't know if you noticed the steel on top. This wall can't be climbed. This is very, very hard. And what the panel does on top, as I said, is structural, but it's also very hard to get by that panel. We had people going out and real climbers telling us which is the toughest to climb, but these are anti-climb panels. Very tough to get across.
What do I know about building walls?
He's two-faced.
Do you think that Germany's too naive?
And honestly, with Trudeau, he's a nice guy. I find him to be a very nice guy. But, you know, the truth is that I called him out on the fact that he's not paying 2%. And I guess he's not very happy about it. I mean, you were there, a couple of you were there, and he's not paying 2%, and he should be paying 2%. It's Canada, they have money, and they should be paying 2%. So I called him out on that, and I'm sure he wasn't happy about it, but that's the way it is. Look, I'm representing the U.S., and he should be paying more than he's paying, and he understands that. So I can imagine he's not that happy, but that's the way it is.
No matter what you do, you've got to get out and vote. The whole world is laughing at us. They're laughing at this, at what's going on in our country. You're looking free.
So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
Do you hate the president, Madam Speaker? Because
I don't hate anybody.
Representative Collins,
I was raised in
reason
a
I asked.
Catholic house. We don't hate anybody, not anybody in the world. So don't you accuse me.
I
of
did
any-
not accuse you.
You did.
I asked a question.
You did. And
Representative Collins yesterday suggested that the Democrats are doing this simply because they don't like the
I
guy.
have nothing to do with it. Let me just say this.
I think it's an important
I
point.
think the president is a coward when it comes to helping our kids who are afraid of gun violence. I think he is cruel when he doesn't deal with helping our dreamers, of which we're very proud. I think he's in denial about the climate crisis. However, that's about the election. This is about the election. Take it up in the election. This is about the Constitution of the United States and the facts that lead to the president's violation of his oath of office. And as a Catholic, I resent your using the word hate in a sentence that addresses me. I don't hate anyone. I was raised in a way that is a heart full of love, and always prayed for the president. And I still pray for the president. I pray for the president all the time. So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
We may have a new hearing room, we may have new mics, and we may have chairs that aren't comfortable. By the way, just for the information, Mr. Chairman, this is the coldest hearing room in the world. And also, for those of you who are worried about I'm uncomfortable, upset, I'm happy as a lark, but this chair is terrible.
understand it, the framers intended impeachment to be used infrequently, not as punishment, but to save our democracy from threats so significant that we cannot wait for the next election. In your testimony, you suggest that we face that kind of threat. Can you explain why you think impeachment is the appropriate recourse here, why we cannot wait for the next election?
On actions by Ukraine that would benefit his personal political interests.
Yes, in making the determination that the president committed an impeachable offense, I relied on the evidence that was before the House and the testimony, and then when this report was issued, I continued to rely on that.
Sir, did you review the following testimony from our ambassador to Ukraine, Ambassador William Taylor?
This is a clock calendar impeachment, not a fact impeachment. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I now recognize Ms. Lofgren for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is, as has been mentioned, only the third time in modern history that the committee has assumed the grave responsibility of considering impeachment. And oddly enough, I've been present at all three. I was staff of Congressman Don Edwards during the Nixon impeachment, present on the committee during the Clinton impeachment, and here we are today. At its core, I think the impeachment power really is about the preservation of our democratic systems. And the question we must answer is whether the activity of the president threatens our Constitution and our democracy.
You see, in that exchange, they didn't just say bribery was too narrow.
The impeachment power really is about the preservation of our democratic systems.